if you're poly and you're dating, are there good ways to make sure the people you're dating are aware that you're not coming out because of work or kids?
I really thought you were going to say, if you're poly and you're dating, clap your hands. This is Cathy Bartuli from the IntimacyDojo.com.
And this is Reid from ReidAboutSex.com.
What was the question?
Because the airline lost his luggage.
The airlines lost my luggage this morning, so it gave me the excuse to wear the tux.
It's great. I think you should start on doing it a little bit each video.
Maybe.
I bet it would get them to watch. Leave comments if that's true. So someone wrote and said they're poly and they're dating, and they're not clapping their hands that we know of. Maybe. But they'd like to make it clear to the people they're dating and to friends around them that they're not coming out as poly in general because of work
Jobs
or kids.
Or kids or something like that.
So like, how is a good way to do that? Because there some people will judge you. You're like, why are you not out? Come on.
Yeah. Yeah. If somebody's like shaming you for not being out because you have valid or even not valid, like I would respectfully say, hey, we can all set our privacy needs where we need them to. I'm glad that you're out, and I have my reasons, and which I'm not going to tell you because they are my private reasons, or you can share with them if it's appropriate, for why I'm not choosing to be out right now. And I would appreciate it if you didn't shame me about that, or, if you just gave me some room to do my thing. And in a worst case scenario, tell them Reid said suck it. Because I think that that's just mean. And when I first started being poly, I was very anti-monogamy because I felt so insecure, like people could take my poly away. So I had to kind of like bash. So, not to make excuses, but I think some people are, like bash people who are in the closet about stuff because, they feel insecure. And I do have some friends who are very activisty, who are like, everybody, the more people that are out, the better, because it normalizes things. And you still get to have your privacy.
Well, and I think I went through this when I first found out that kissing women was delightful, and I was like...
You kissed a girl and you liked it?
I did. Many years ago.
No wonder we like each other.
It took so much courage to share it with somebody, and I think I had to marshal all my forces to like kind of tell somebody. And then as I started coming out, I was like, when someone else wasn't aligned with that, because I was having to break through so many fears myself. And I'm sure I did shame some other people, and I certainly felt shamed myself at times for not being more out. I think it's just part of the process of being awkward, and it's better if we can like we're in a growth process. We're going to be awkward sometimes, and we can try to be more aware and not shame people. Yeah,
and it's also around privacy settings. Sometimes not being out or open about something is the smart choice. For my friends who do sex work or write, erotic novels and have kids, like they have a pen name, or, a pseudonym for a reason. And for them, it's very grounded in, listen, like, if somebody ever questions them, you're like, oh, well, here's my situation. And of course, I'm going to protect my kids from other kids being mean because they don't understand that their mom or their dad writes erotica or does X, Y, and Z.
Right. And in some states, being poly, you might lose the kids. So for me personally, I like to be really direct if I'm like not out about something, because there's things like I have this YouTube video and anyone can watch it, but I don't necessarily share at work. Like I'm not walking around going, have you watched my latest video on butt sex?
Hey, corporate America.
Yeah. So I again, some of them may be watching this, and it's a great place to work. But I'm like, it's okay to have privacy. I like it when people remind me why, if they feel comfortable sharing. So if someone tells me they're not open about being poly or writing erotica, it may not stick as clearly as if they're comfortable sharing. Like, hey,
you're training everybody how to not to share your posts on their social feeds.
Right.
Like you're training people why you need to stay under the radar.
Right. So, yeah. And please share all of these. It's if they find it, they find it. It's great. But I think for some people, if they can tell me, hey, if when they're telling me and they feel comfortable, like, hey, I have kids, I'm in the middle of a divorce, I want to make sure to be careful about not sharing this, it anchors it more for me. And I'm gonna, it's like, it helps me, is rather than I'm just not sharing.
Yeah.
Like, yes, I very much want to respect people, and I meet hundreds of people, and I'm like, oh, which one was that?
So you're sharing in the communities that you're dipping your toe into as you dip your toes in and meet people. Hey, just so you know, I'm exploring polyamory, or I know that I'm polyamorous, and I have a job or, a situation with my family where I need to kind of keep this under the radar. Could you just be mindful of that? And then that's, I think a lot of people in the kink and poly scenes and swinger scenes understand that situation. And then you're training the community how to behave with that.
And I think poly is getting, in some areas of the country, is getting a lot more acceptable. So some people may not understand, like, why are you not out about being poly? It's okay to be not out about whatever it is. You get to have your privacy. And you get to share about what's important to you too.
And last but not least, if somebody asks you something and it's none of their business, you can kindly and gently just say, thank you for asking that, and it's none of your business, so I'm not going to answer that question.
Yeah.
But how are you doing? Yeah. And I think there's a way to really be like that. It's okay.
You can always use Reid's difficult conversation formula. You can say, hey, I'm really afraid you'll shame me or think less of me. What I'd really like to have happen is to remember and know that I have some needs around this.
And what I have to tell you is that's none of your business.
Or that I'm not out about being poly. So
you can check out ReidAboutSex.com/convo for difficult conversation stuff. Awesome. Leave comments.
Cool.
Thanks for tuning in, Sex Geek. If you would like to continue with the brain sex, do me a favor and click subscribe right here. If you'd like to watch me on social media, that's where you're going to go. Next video, maybe? And if you really would like your own Sex Geek t-shirt, please click right here, right now. Boop. No, really, like...